We are not talking about a conventional military escalation, but rather a direct, all-out confrontation between Washington and Tehran, one that sources are calling the most severe in decades. In the latest development, military orders were issued just 1 minute ago. Iran's Noor news agency quoted a senior military source with this terrifying statement: "The Iranian missile units and drone forces will begin large-scale operations within minutes to target all U.S. military bases in the region." Yes, you heard that right. Within minutes. Drones and missiles may already be in the air right now, hurtling toward their targets in this 11th hour war. The catalyst: what happened in the Strait of Hormuz? To understand how we arrived at this 0 hour, let's recap the crazy events of the past 8 hours. Last night, U.S. Central Command launched massive strikes targeting air defense sites, radars, and more than 60 Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps speedboats in the Strait of Hormuz. The devastating Iranian response was swift. The IRGC announced the bombardment of 85 U.S. military sites across Bahrain and Kuwait, alongside the downing of an American MQ-9 Reaper drone. Reports confirmed 10 massive explosions rocking the ports of Chabahar and Karg, leading to widespread power outages, coupled with the sound of blasts echoing across Bandar Abbas and Lavon Island. Diplomatic fallout and escalating rhetoric. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump, speaking from the NATO summit in Ankara, torpedoed all signed agreements, declaring that negotiations with Iran are completely dead and a waste of time. Trump didn't stop there. He threatened to seize Iran's vital Karg Island, reimpose a full naval blockade, and entirely obliterate Iranian infrastructure, including power and water plants, if deemed necessary. Back in Washington, Vice President J.D. Vance added a chilling layer of ambiguity, telling reporters, quote, "If the Iranians strike ships in the Strait of Hormuz, we will respond with overwhelming force, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what will happen tonight," end quote. The Iranian reactions have bypassed diplomacy completely, escalating into the most dangerous rhetoric of blood. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi responded to Trump calling Iranians scum by stating, quote, "We do not answer obscenity with obscenity, we answer with courageous deeds," end quote. Ali Akbar Velayati, advisor to the Supreme Leader, sent shockwaves through political circles when he wrote that the axis of resistance has its finger on the trigger, demanding the blood of the late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei to cleanse the region, end quote. As for the nuclear threat, the Iranian National Security Committee declared explicitly, if Iran faces an existential threat, it will withdraw from the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and instantly alter its military doctrine, end quote. In an unprecedented and dramatic twist, Trump announced that he might be Iran's prime assassination target. This came after hardline lawmakers in the Iranian parliament publicly called for targeting Trump's location during his attendance at the NATO summit in Turkey. Some even went further, calling for a dangerous escalation against Turkish President Recep Erdogan for hosting him. Right now, the Hebrew newspaper Maariv confirms that the Israeli military has gone into a state of maximum alert, bracing for any offensive or defensive scenario. Estimates suggest that Trump has a very narrow window to wage this high-intensity war before the midterm elections this coming November, and it appears he has decided to seize that window now. Iran has vowed to completely shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Iranian air defenses are currently engaging hostile targets in the vicinity of Bandar Abbas, and Iranian missile units have announced that their operations will commence within minutes. The question is no longer if war will happen, the question is how many minutes separate us from the first strike. Stay with us as we bring you the news as it breaks. Rapid and dangerous developments are reaching us at this very moment. The scope of the war is expanding and spiraling out of control. A devastating third wave is launching right now, and explosions are striking new, unexpected depths. Iran's Mehr news agency has reported violent blasts shaking the city of Bushehr in southwestern Iran. The governor of Bushehr issued an urgent statement confirming that several areas in the province have been bombed, though he reassured the Iranian public that the strikes have not yet hit the Bushehr nuclear power plant or the vital oil facilities on Karg Island. But it doesn't stop there. Incoming reports from the field reveal an unexpected military shock. The U.S. has launched intensive raids targeting 90 sites deep inside Iran. These include power plants and electrical and nuclear facilities in a clear bid to completely paralyze Iranian capabilities. The geopolitical strike and global paralysis. For the first time since the conflict began, fires are raging in a far north of Iran, far removed from the southern coasts and the Strait of Hormuz. US warplanes have targeted infrastructure and the railway network in Golestan province, and reports confirm the destruction of 2 strategic bridges in Kale County. This targeting is not just a military bombardment, it is a lethal geopolitical strike. The destroyed bridge serves as the main artery for the most important international trade corridor linking Iran with China and Turkmenistan, and stands as a vital route for Russia towards the warm waters of the Sea of Oman and the Persian Gulf. Washington has delivered their most dangerous message yet. This conflict is no longer localized. It has morphed into a global war aimed at severing supply lines of major superpowers. The scene is growing bleaker by the minute, and the waves of military skirmishes have now reached their 5th fiery iteration. Each side claims the other is desperate to rush into an agreement, but the language of the missiles on the ground tells the exact opposite story. As these international trade corridors enter the line of fire, major capitals like Beijing and Moscow are watching this escalation with extreme anxiety. This comes amid unprecedented, historic leaps in global oil prices that now threaten to trigger worldwide economic paralysis. Financial markets are experiencing genuine panic in these hours, and behind-the-scenes diplomatic reports speak of emergency calls to convene war councils. Meanwhile, Tehran insists that any compromise of its security and supply channels will be met with a broader seismic response that will engulf the oil and gas fields of neighboring countries backing the American maneuvers. The clock is now ticking towards the decisive moment, and the entire Middle East stands on the edge of a volcano that could erupt completely at any second, dragging the world into a massive confrontation with no end in sight. Today, the question is no longer when these strikes will stop, but rather who has the power to deliver the final crushing blow in this zero-sum battle, and who will blink first before it's too late. We will stay with you step by step, tracking the explosive atmosphere and monitoring breaking news straight from the operations rooms as it comes in. Stay tuned.